the thing which is bound to happen is death. And people just tend to ignore. Colleges are not going to teach it to you. Democratize capital ownership in such a strong way that the utility will far outweigh its valuation. Completely wipe down the previous industry, and you're part of that previous industry, then your life is going to be very miserable.
Yeah. So we just talked about your experience at IIT and your experience at BCG. So there's one thing, like there's a lot of hype about IIT, but what no one knows about what bad can happen to IITians. Like what are the things that can go wrong?
I think in long term, the thing which is bound to happen is death, and people just tend to ignore. And I'm not being very, comical about it. I think it is very serious. Like, so many people end up doing things for so long with the expectation कि अच्छा, I can, get this, जिससे कि future में I will get this advantage. Now, delayed gratification is good. I'm not saying anything against delayed gratification, that you put in efforts now and gratify later. Most of the people who are successful, they are because of some sort of delayed gratification. But the problem is that if you are doing things only with the objective of future benefit, and which you do not like genuinely sort of like to do in present, then your life is not going to be happy, because in future again you are going to do that delayed gratification. In future again you will do that, right? And that is an unending cycle. It's like chasing a mirage that you are always chasing it. It is never going to come in. Okay, so there is a requirement to understand and to actually think about it. What happens if you die after 2 years, and what happens if you die after 60 years? And both these are important perspectives. Why? Because we typically tend to take decisions in life for next 2 years. जैसे a 10th standard kid might be taking a decision कि okay, in 11th 12th I should be preparing for JEE. Maybe 8th standard kid will be trying to take a decision कि okay, science or commerce, what is most suitable, right? In 10th. So like we always take decisions for next 2 years most of the time. We think about next 2 years. So just think about it, that let's say if you are going to die after 2 years, what is it that you would want to change about your life today? And second, again, 2 years, people tend to undermine that, it's not very likely. Think about 60 years, and then also you will try to see, okay, if I see my life as 60 years, 40 years is going to be my career, 20 years after that I'm going to, like, in some sense, retire, 40 years I'm going to work. So for that 40 years, if you see the time scale, and then you see that, okay, in that 40 years, 1 or 2 years is a very small time. 4 years is in fact just 10%. Your entire college degree is like 10% of your working life, right? In your future working life. So then your perspective becomes far more long term. You start thinking from a long term point of view without compromising your short term. Okay, and both these perspectives go together very well. And when you start having it, your life becomes like slightly more happier as compared to what you are, because you don't do things that you don't want to do. And that's a like net message of this entire set of videos. If you see, like, don't do things which you don't want to do, even in high school, in college, in your life after college. The only thing which gives you a lot of pain in your life is going to be things which you don't want to do, and you are like bound to do it in some sense. So just keep that perspective at the back of your mind, and I think life would be far more easier to go through.
Like to have a perspective that if you'll die in next 2 years will like give you the power to eliminate all the things that you don't want to do.
Yes, you won't be doing those things for the next 2 years. Your ambitions will start changing when you do that. And that would be one way to look at it. Just don't only focus on that. Another question is like, what if you are going to die after next 60 years, which is
so that's another perspective.
Yes. So and there would be some things which come in the common bucket. Okay, and when you see that, then you should be pursuing. So that's a very good framework, and I think it has been
like, this is a new learning to me as well. Like when I just thought of myself as like what will happen after 2 years, then I just eliminated a lot of things that were like being a lot of pain to me. So that's like some motivation as well.
Exactly.
So,
So you won't be probably applying to those jobs or preparing for those jobs you don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have to study certain subjects which you don't want to, you probably won't do that. So let's say if so you are someone who is very much into coding. So you won't be taking electives which are not into coding, because your life would be like, okay, I like doing this. Let me just focus on this, rather than taking in courses which are like optimizing for grades, which are like far more short term. Let me do things which I generally enjoy for next 2 years. And then from a long term point of view, okay, it might be that taking in data structures course is going to harm your CGPA. Okay, it's
Yes.
it's a tough course. But then versus that, if you generally like coding and you're taking data structures course versus another course which is going to guarantee you an A grade,
A grade.
then you just think about it from a 60-year point of view. Not getting a great grade is not going to harm your long-term
Long-term.
prospects if you are
Yeah.
into coding. Okay,
Yeah.
and in the short term you are studying something which you actually like. So
Yeah, that
so
makes a lot of sense.
so both these things work together very well.
Hmm.
And I think in COVID also, like, a lot of people must have seen this, that life is not something which we should take for granted. It's not like
Yeah.
we should just let the ride be as it is. So it's something very precious. Like
Yeah.
we should not be very casual about it.
Yeah. Yeah. We do not have infinite time. Yeah, that makes
Yes, we do
sense.
not have infinite
That
time.
time. Yeah. There is a phenomenal upsurge in certain new technologies like
Yeah,
cryptocurrency. So like this is something that has created a lot of buzz, not even just in the tech people, but also the non-tech guys. So
yeah,
and the fact is that not even the tech people understand what it actually is. So
yeah.
can you share some thoughts over that?
Yeah. So again, for most emerging tech, you won't be getting people who are going to teach you how that tech works, and that is a very important thing to understand. Like, if something is being taught, that means that field has been mostly cracked.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, makes
Uh,
sense.
the people who are actually working on things which are not cracked are not at a position wherein they can actually teach you.
Teach you. Yes.
Okay. Even like PhDs, they don't teach people the exact details of their current research. They teach in courses and all what they already understand and what has already been done. Okay.
Makes sense.
Research is something wherein people have to do experiments. People have to, like, be in that valley of testing and experimenting and finding out things up to a stage wherein first they see what is a new insight or what is a new thing, and then they would be in a position to share it with the world, right? So if you see there are so many fields which are now coming up. Okay, AR, VR, crypto,
Quantum.
in biology there are so many interesting research.
Yeah.
uh, uh, 20, 30 years ago, making vaccines was a very different process. Right now, with mRNA, companies have been able to make like the entire COVID vaccine in 9 days, in terms of, like, the entire the vaccine sample. They took time for approvals, but the vaccine sample, because of mRNA technique, was cracked so quickly. So if you see, mRNA is a very, very important discovery, in my opinion, and would be very phenomenal in future as well. So there are so many such emerging technologies which are coming up. Your professors, your college, teachers, they are not going to teach you. Your peers would also probably not be in a position to teach you. What they can actually teach you is, that there are certain experiments going on. You can probably follow on those experiments. You can see that why they are doing it, what is their response on those experiments, why something is working, not working. You can go and understand from them, and just doing that is like a very, very big step. Why? Because the upside in these new fields is far higher as compared to the older fields,
Yeah.
because of the simple fact that in these new fields, as there are less people who are venturing out, those people who venture and find those new insights first, they get a certain more leverages as compared to the laggards who come in later.
Hmm.
It's very commonsensical thing if you see from some point of view. Okay. the first person who was able to crack soft drinks as an industry. Before soft drinks, people used to drink coffee, tea, and then soft drinks came, and then soft drinks, people started to sell it. It became a new sort of beverage, and they were able to capture the market far before as compared to their peers.
Yeah.
If you see also in terms of research, those people who are able to capture certain insights before, they are able to garner in support from other people in that field much before than other peers. So it might be that there is some college in corner of India which is able to capture in certain new insights about an emerging field, and then everyone from all around the world will start respecting these people, will start coming to them to understand, okay, what experiments they are running on. A good example is IIT Roorkee. IIT Roorkee established themselves as sort of center for civil engineering a long time back. Okay. So the best set of civil engineering professors, students, they went to IIT Roorkee to gain knowledge. And it does not matter which field you are in terms of research or in terms of tech startups or whatever it is, even in design, in fashion. Wherever there is tinkering, wherever there is experimenting,
yeah,
things will concentrate over there. It was England which was able to capture industrial revolution because tinkerers concentrated in England during that stage. It was Silicon Valley which captured so much wealth in tech industry because all the tech tinkerers started to concentrate over there. And in this modern age, internet has started to become a world of its own. So the tinkerers are converging on internet to do what they want to do. So for example, designers are converging on Figma. Coders are converging on GitHub or other such platforms, right? Whatever coders are using. So just being at the cutting edge of tinkering process of experimenting, that gives a very major leverage in terms of capturing whatever new opportunities are going to come up. Right now, so many people can make apps. Right now, so many people can make websites. If these set of people were able to make websites and apps, let's say for websites in 1990s, if they were able to make websites, they would have been able to capture far more wealth as compared to what right now web developers are able to capture.
Yeah, makes
App
sense.
developers, if they were able to make apps, like if they were if they had started to make apps in 2005 to 2010 period,
Then
at that stage when iPhone and all those came in, then they would have been able to capture so much wealth. Similarly, AR VR, once it is going to come in someday. Whenever it is going to come in, those who are able to capture development on those platforms, they will be able to capture wealth. Yes, so sort of understand where new markets are being created, and markets can be of any kind, in terms of research, also in terms of like startups, in terms of new kind of skill sets or whatever it is, right? So just being on the cutting edge of where things are happening, being one of the tinkerers or experimenters in emerging areas, that can be a very, very major leverage. And anyone can do that. Like it does not require that you be a full-time entrepreneur to be doing that. Even researchers need to think about it in the right way. If some field is extremely competitive in terms of research, try to go in adjacent segments wherein not more people are researching, and you think that place has value in it. In terms of in your jobs, you should think which roles have far more value. That's why I'm mentioning product so many times in this entire video.
Makes sense.
So I think that's like the broader paradigm which I
with
have
emerging
in mind.
techs.
Yes, with emerging tech.
So
and colleges are not going to teach it to you. All the information is freely available. All the tinkerers, they are very open to share information. On Reddit, YouTube, you can almost find everything. Reddit, YouTube, Discord channels, and you can find communities where these things are happening, and you can learn on your own. You can make a group of your own. You can all co-learn in a sense, but there are not other people who are going to come and teach it to you.
Yeah, makes sense. So like particularly for cryptocurrency, like what are your thoughts on that?
I think crypto is definitely one of the major paradigm shifts which is going to happen. It has not completely happened. right now, if you see, almost like 80 to 90% of crypto is still a Ponzi in a big way, because the valuation still outweigh the utility.
Yeah.
But is it not that if the question is that is there no utility at all, or is there no potential for future utility at all? That is like something on which I have a very stronger viewpoint, that in future crypto would be able to bring down costs and sort of democratize capital ownership in such a strong way that the utility will far outweigh its valuation. And it's still too early. If you see that crypto is 10 years old, but in some sense it's old in terms of like the basic infrastructure and technology. But
mathematics.
In terms of what all productive things crypto can do, it's still too early. There are not a lot of productive applications of crypto that have come up in the world. And that's why just being just having that understanding about it is going to be very useful for a lot of people, and specifically for people from a technical background. If someone is into coding right now, they should like have a clear understanding that web development is a thing of past. App development is also a thing slightly of past. Machine learning is something which has gotten a lot into research, but applications is still not up to the extent to which it can impact the society. Maybe next 5 years or next 10 years we'll see that come into play. In terms of crypto, the tech is still far more immature. If you see in terms of if you compare, web is like far more mature in terms of tech, in terms of applications also very mature. App development mature in terms of tech, even more maturing out even more right now with React and all these things coming up. Applications also maturing out, and applications will still continue to mature for next certain years. I think in terms of like how technology is shifting, web development has matured, started to decline. App development in terms of tech has matured, applications are maturing. Machine learning tech is still developing, applications are like far less as compared to what it can be at a wider level. And some of it is still function to tech. I'm not someone from a very strong tech background. I have explored these fields far more from an application background. That's why my opinions are more from an applications point of view.
Yeah.
And crypto is something in which tech and applications both are still underdeveloped to a big extent.
Yeah.
So if you see that is a paradigm. AR VR is something on which tech is not something which has found the right applications right now. But in future, definitely, like it's an almost an inevitable change.
Makes
that
sense.
is going to happen. So AR VR is also going to be a very important step in future. So just starting to learn about it, starting to understand it, and being aware about it is useful. Like that's just my 2 cents on it. Because if certain industry is emerging which is going to completely wipe down the previous industry, and you're part of that previous industry, then your life is going to be very miserable. So let's say if you're it's similar to like that in India had so many handloom weavers, and suddenly industrial revolution came and mills displaced jobs, right? And those kind of things will happen drastically as platform shifts, tech shifts will happen. And that's what is an accelerating world. When I say that world is accelerating, new tech, new applications are developing far faster than the previous tech is able to mature out. So just
and they're also wiping out the previous industries. So that is important.
They're wiping previous industries.
So anything else that you have in mind that you want to share? Like we're at the end of our talk.
I think the final point is that we tend to over-index on the opinions of people who we feel are senior or respectable or superior to us, right? For example, if you're watching this video, you would tend to over-index my opinion, or if you're not, then it's a great thing. What framework is more useful according to me is, because we are in an accelerating world, the older or the more sort of older paradigm or more used opinion is not going to be as useful as a newer paradigm or newer opinion. There are certain things which have value and which are almost timeless. It's not difficult to find them. But in terms of what new technologies, new behaviors, new careers are going to come up, I think you should always value your opinion more than someone else's opinion, even my opinion. Even though this entire talk has been like focused on that element, this is the final thing which I should just highlight out, that my understanding has also came upon into existence because I knew that the people who are from those older industries, they are having a sort of an arrogance about why their industry is going to survive. And that's a thing which consulting teaches so well, right? A consulting industry survives from this principle that it does not take a lot of experience to give greater to find great insights and give good recommendations.
Yeah,
What
makes
it
sense.
does is to have a very clear thinking and have an allegiance to truth rather than credibility or experience. And that's the final thing. Like, even if you feel that I am credible, assume I am not, and there is a very high likelihood I am actually not credible in most of the things I'm talking about. Just take in these opinions, process them, and form your own opinions, and value truth more than credibility. And that's a thing which I think consulting ingrained in me, and that's just my request to all the people who are looking at it, that that's a very useful thing to always keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Experience is not as important as truth. At times experience corresponds with truth, but not always.
Yeah, the learnings that I also have from this particular talk is that like the framework that you just explained about the death after 2 years and the long-term perspective. So keep that in mind, and then value the truth, and then also value the experiences, and then finally you will get to know what actually makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in.